understand Islam and the Muslim world more, buy my book, The Curse of God, Why I Left Islam. Available in all your favorite online bookstores. All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan, the ex-Muslim atheist. Now let's get to his big brother, Big Broom. Have a look at this video. Now, actually, before you watch the video, let me give you a bit of a rundown. Mohammed Hijab, the big bully, he thinks that this world is like his high school, where he can just bully, shout, and scream at people, and other people will be scared of him, and they'll back away, they'll run away. The guy's an idiot, obviously. I mean, he's actually having a meltdown. Mohammed Hijab is having a mental breakdown. Now, we shouldn't laugh at other people's misery, but I would be lying if I didn't say that by looking at him like this, and I'm like, of course that was going to happen. If you believe in flying donkeys, of course, when the real world comes and hits you at 100 miles an hour, reality slaps some sense into you, of course you're going to have a mental breakdown, because your entire upbringing, your entire life was spent believing in flying donkeys, moon splitting, Muhammad's poop turning, vanishing as soon as it comes out of his backside. Of course you're going to have a mental breakdown. So have a look. He's having a mental breakdown. Literally, it's been carrying on for 3 days now. This is how it started. He actually got angry at his own people. And like his own style, he started yelling and shouting at them. Have a look at this video.
All of you. And I know you're listening to me and shaking. You need to use the toilet now. I know you do. Now listen carefully. Listen carefully. And I want you to all listen. I know the enemies of Islam are listening to me. Let me take my glasses off. Let me take my glasses. If you saw what I look like now, believe me, a lot of the enemies of Islam would be very scared. Just like Apus was very scared. Many of them would be very scared, because when we come with the truth and the haqq, when we come with the truth and the haqq and all of the details like this, khalas, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Listen carefully to all those people out there, the Christians. How dare you talk about preservation? It actually makes me angry. Listen to what he said. Not a stupid running around the street, speaker's corner and talking nonsense. No chain. Don't speak to me. Don't speak about Islam. Don't ever open your mouth about Islam again. Wallahi, don't open your mouth. Don't ever open your mouth. You have no chain. And a lot of you are losing faith, and you should. Uqsumu billahi al-azim. I know the Christians are on this chat. Lose faith. I tell you, lose faith. It's better for you. Because this is a nonsense. You have no chain of narration. No chain. And you're comparing with all audacity, because of the ignorance of the Muslim community and the weakness of the leaders. You are comparing your method of preservation with us. Uqsum billah, you are deceived and self-deluded. Dunning-Kruger effect, you jokers, you imbeciles. How dare you talk about the Quran, you imbecilic individuals. Sahaba were going to beat each other up because they didn't know. Is this one saying it? Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. And these weak Muslims in the West, sending me emails and this, I'm losing my faith and I'm a hafiz, I'm losing. Get the hell out. You are never a strong believer in the first place, you weakling. You're a weakling because you don't know your tradition. You're sitting there watching Netflix and you don't read the books of Islam. That's why you are where you are. That's why you are where you are, you imbecile. It's our fault.
He's having a mental breakdown. I have actually offered to pay for a shrink for him. He's losing it. He thinks the people are shaking listening to him. People we're laughing. People are laughing at him, and this was bound to happen. This was bound to happen, as I said, because if your worldview is going to be that Muhammad flew to heaven on a winged donkey, he split the moon in two pieces, Muhammad's poop vanishing as soon as it comes out of his backside. If your worldview is going to be that, of course you're going to have a mental breakdown when the reality is slapped across your face. And this is what's happening with other people as well, his own followers, as he was yelling and shouting at them, screaming at them, you weaklings, imbeciles. I have, you know what, I'm not boasting or anything, but I haven't had a single person who said that, who once told me that, I have left Islam after listening to you. And then a year later they say, I've listened to Yasir Qadhi, Shabir Ali, or Mufti Menk, or Muhammad Hijab, and I've gone back in the fold of Islam. Not once. No one has ever said that. But him here, by his own admission, saying that Muslims are emailing him, the Hafizes, people who have who've memorized the whole Quran, they are emailing him and saying, well, brother, we're losing faith. Of course they're going to lose the faith. Of course they know what the hell is going on. Of course they can see that. How are you going to sell them a flying donkey in the 21st century? It just doesn't work that way. And again, the reason why I keep bringing up flying donkey is because he is a Salafi. He actually does believe that. He's not like Hamza al-Abbasi or those modern progressive Javed Gandhi type of Muslims who don't believe in that nonsense. They're the 21st century Muslim apologists. But these guys are ancient 7th century Muslim apologists. They proudly say it's okay. Aisha was 9. So they don't even bother to refute their own hadith and say that, oh, no, that's a made-up hadith. They don't even bother that. They just say, yes, she was 9. So what? So what our Prophet did? The best comeback is, well, King of England had a 13-year-old wife. Yeah, okay. So your Muhammad was like a king, and a very pathetic king who married a 13-year-old girl. And by the way, there's a big difference between 9 and 13. Just like there's a big difference between 16 and 18. There actually is a big difference. But as you get older, you know, whether you're 40 or 35, it doesn't make much difference. But when in those ages, it actually does matter a lot. So he's having a mental breakdown. He's lost it. He's now called. He's updated his Twitter bio. He's retired from his as a Muslim apologist career, whatever career he had. He's retired from it, and now he's trying with comedy. And you know what? You could actually, Mohammed Hijab, you don't have to update your Twitter bio to comedian. You already were a comedian, because what you were selling us was one of the biggest source of comedies on planet Earth, Islam, the Quranic stories, talking ants, God's throne floating over water, which hand to use to wipe your ass, etc. I mean, this is funny. Sorry, Mohammed Hijab, that's very funny. So you didn't have to update your Twitter bio as a comedian. You already were a comedian. You were a great source of comedy for a lot of us. We enjoy watching your melt. Now, as I said, it's not ethical for us to laugh at other people's misery, but I don't know, there's something really sad, but something really funny about his breakdown as well. But sad part is, I have a strong feeling. Now, we did email some people in England, some authorities in England, that this guy is on the verge of breakdown. I have a feeling he might end up doing something. He might end up hurting someone, some innocent bystander, some ex-Muslim, or maybe not ex-Muslim, some poor white person. He might end up hurting someone. He was fired from his old job, wherever he was, because of his radical views. So he's probably jobless, but maybe he's making enough money from YouTube. Who knows? And he quite regularly does fundraisers, and who knows where that money goes. And, you know, Muslims and Christians are pretty foolish when it comes to giving money to their apologists. we know it happens. It's a lot harder to get money out of atheists. Even for good causes like activism. So I'm really worried. I'm really worried that he might end up doing something really stupid, and it might end up harming someone. So we have emailed some people. But as I said, now this video is like, I don't know, a few days old. But since that day, he's tweeting constantly about apostate prophet, about Abdullah Samir and his wife, and Abdullah Gondal and his wife. And, you know, he's acting like Prophet Muhammad. He's following in his sunnah. He's following the sunnah. He's following in his footstep. He's abusing, cursing the wives of infidels. That is some of his tweets where he's just posting photos of Abdullah Samir and his missus. Apostate prophet did the same with Abdullah Gondal as well. And he comes up with these silly names, a pus. So he's replacing the word prophet with pus or pussy. So Prophet Muhammad. You know, we can actually go a lot lower than what he's doing. You know, I mean, hats off to apostate prophet and Abdullah Samir and Abdullah Gondal. They haven't abused Muhammad. They haven't drawn cartoons of Muhammad. There's so many filthy cartoons out there of a 52-year-old man with a 9-year-old girl. There are filthy cartoons out there. But they haven't done any of that. The kind of language that he's using, sexually repressive, messed up kind of a language he's using. You know, like, I mean, there's plenty of material on his face. Just have a look at his face. I mean, people's beards grow downwards. His beard grows sideways, like pubic hair. You know, I don't want to go in that, but, you know, like, let's see how he behaves over the next few days. And, you know, there's plenty of material on your face, Mohammed Hijab. And, I mean, I've often said it. I thought that problem exists only with Pakistani Muslims, but I guess it's a problem everywhere with all Muslims. I mean, look at their faces. Look at their faces. And he's talking about the faces of apostate prophet. I mean, who are you? Are you Chris Hemsworth? Are you Chris Evans? Are you Tom Cruise? Are you Brad Pitt? No. You look like a freaking broom upside down. That's what you look like. But again, let's not go into that at this point. We can go about that some other time if we have to. But he's having a mental breakdown. I reckon usually, you know why I'm saying it's a mental breakdown? Because usually when you get angry, when you get triggered by someone, you curse back at them and then you move on. You forget about them, you block them, and then you move on. But he's carrying on for the last 3 days. Constantly, non-stop, posting the photos. And they're just going non-stop. So I think it's a prolonged mental breakdown. There are only two things that I can see out of it. He's going to have a complete breakdown. Going to hurt someone, going to harm someone. I genuinely believe that. Or he might learn to live with it. That's the only option that he has, because it's not high school. You think you can shout and scream and you think you can freaking intimidate people. Bro, this is not how people get intimidated. This is not your high school. This is not a fist fight. What was the scene from Fast and Furious where Jason Statham comes out and is about to have a fight with Vin Diesel? Vin Diesel's like, yeah, let's have a fight. And Jason Statham pulls out a big crowbar or something. And they say, what do you think? It was a street fight? Nah, man, just whatever. There are no rules. So it's just crazy. I think it's just, he's just high on some, well, we know that he's high on Quran, but he's also high on some other nonsense that he thinks that he can just violently bully and intimidate people and people will be scared. That just doesn't work that way, Mohammed Hijab. You should know it better. Because how's that working out for you? How many times have you stopped the apostate prophet Abdullah Samir or anyone you have ever gone after? You can't stop them like that. It just doesn't mean anything. Again, the way you're reacting, I think you won't be able to leave Britain either. You won't be able to go to other countries. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so I think I've spoken enough. To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.